Hey guys, Terry here with the Forest Farm Project. Unfortunately, our GoPro Karma had a little accident. 2 arms got broke. All 4 props got broke. Not the best day, but we're going to get past it. So we're going to go ahead and take this thing apart, replace the arms, and replace the props. It's just 2 of the 4 arms got broke. This side of the Karma ran into the side of a tree. We don't know how it happened, it just did. So, first thing we're going to do is pull the 4 screws out of this base plate, holding the landing gear in place. They have them Loctited in there, so they're a little bit tough to turn. They send you a tool. It's a 2mm, I believe, Allen wrench. And we're able to use a regular 2mm Allen wrench. That's how I know. But, because I tried it just to see, but it looks like they're going to go okay by hand. So those 4 screws came out of the landing gear. Now, let me get my diagram. Okay. So, we took the 4 screws, as the diagram on this paper says, out of the landing gear. Now the landing gear pries up. If you'll notice, take note on one thing. They're showing you all these directions with, hopefully you can see this, with the arms collapsed. You could work on it with the arms out or with them collapsed. The diagram shows them collapsed. This is one of them no word diagrams. It's arrows and screws and little dotted lines. So you have to look really close. What are they saying with the picture? And in this picture, everything's closed. So make sure your arms are closed. There are little, I look close, there are little tabs inside of this arm that kind of have like 2 tabs that go this way. On here is going to be 2 that go this way, and they're going to interlock so that that thing spins like it should, or it locks in and turns and stays where it should. So you got to have them lined up. Well, if it's open, and if this is positioned in the closed position, it's going to want to go on like that, and you're trying to put it on like that, it's not going to work. So you need to have them collapsed. I mean, that's what the diagram's showing. That's what we're going to do. So next, we need to pop this landing gear off, and it appears, if you look closely, I can see the back end of it furthest in from me. The arms are this way, so in that direction, they're showing you flipping this up from the right side up. So that's what we're going to attempt to do. And there's a cable in there that you probably, if you pull it the other way, might put it in stress. So we're going to go by what this picture says. See if I can pop this thing loose. It doesn't say get a screwdriver. It doesn't tell you anything. Be right back. Well, maybe this will work as a screwdriver. We'll get a screwdriver. Well, there it goes. It just pops on there. And the other side. All right, we got it loose. And here's our cable that they're showing on there. It's actually backwards from what they're showing. Go figure. Oh, also note the positioning of your legs, the arms, anything that you take apart. Note where it was positioned before you pull it apart, which I've already can see this, and I've got it on video here, so if I had to, I can go back and watch my video to get it back together. But take note, maybe take your cell phone, pop a picture, take your camera, pop a picture before you pull these out. Then when you take this down, pop a picture and say, this cable is on this side of this bracket, which I can see these brackets are going to have to come off. There's 2 screws there and 2 screws there. They're going to have to come off to get these arms off. Well, these arms. So actually, only this side is going to have to come off to get these 2 arms off. So you would want to take note, hey, I won't even have to take this cable loose. You could, if you had to change this side, you'd have to pull this cable loose. There's probably a little tab, yeah, right there. You just push it in, pop it loose. But we don't need it loose. Now I'm going to take it off for now. It'll be out of my way. Just got to remember that cable goes back in there before you put it back together. So let's take these arms off. Got 2 screws here to remove. holding this mounting plate, which holds these arms in place, and then the base screwed through it as well. There's 2 holes there. And take note, these 2 screws were in the center here when you take them out. Again, I would take a picture at this stage. When you pull a piece off, take a picture. Pull another piece off, take another picture. So I'm going to lay these over here actually, because they go on this side. Help me remember what goes where. The first 4 go with the landing gear, and that's why they're setting with the landing gear. And this little tiny screwdriver is difficult to turn. Well, Allen driver. There we go. Got those 2 screws out. Let's get this plate off of here. I see a little pin right there. Wait a minute. I can't pull this off until I pull these wires out. Okay. The wires come out of the arm, through the plate, and down into there. Okay, the next step, according to this diagram, is take this little tool. It's got a fat end and a little flat end. Take this fat end, and it's got 2 places that kind of rise up. And if you look down in that hole, you're not going to be able to see it on the camera. There's a tab that holds this in and a tab that holds this in. There are 2 connectors, 1 for each. So this has got to go down and push those tabs. So you wiggle it down in there. It's all the way down. I guess that's how far it goes. Now, wow, I just noticed this. I didn't notice it the last time I looked at it. It's actually showing you bending this. So and they're showing you grabbing this tape right here as you bend. So that's probably, yep, I felt it pop. Sure did. So that's getting it loose. Don't want to pull very easy though. See, I don't want to pull too hard because I don't want to tear the wiring up. It's got a new harness with the new arms. But I'd still try not to tear it up too bad. There it goes. Once it gets loose, it goes. And that was supposed to be on there. Not that it really matters. I'm going to spin this around so I can get to this other side better. So, let's see. Push down in there with my finger. There it goes. I can hear it pop. And come on out of there. Yep. All right. Now we've got the screws off. Well, it comes right out now. The cables were holding it a while ago. So, pull these connectors through these holes. Note how they were in here. They lay like over top and plug in. So I can take that tool out and pop these bad boys through here like so. Hang on to this because I need it. Let's see, that arm's got a screw in it. We're going to take it out. Fun stuff. Yeah, not too bad on that one. I'm going to pull that short arm off and the long arm. You can see these tabs now. They're down low and they're like, these 2 are low, these 2 are high. And then the arm has just the opposite so that they interlock down in these 2 slots on the sides. I don't know if you can visualize that from up there. Probably not. All right, so let me get this other one loose as well. And man, that comes off easy peasy. There we go. So that was the long one up there. Put screw back in this one. That's a short one. We're going to put the long one in first. I got the screws crossed up, but I don't think that matters. Maybe. If we can get that screw out of there. Come on out of there. There we go. So these 2 broken ones can go bye-bye. Now, push this screw down in this long arm in the hole. Put it just like the other one. Orient it. Looks like that edge is a stop and this is a stop for which way it turns. So I'd say it's going to be lined up when it's right about right there. It dropped right in. If you try and put it on this way, it's not setting properly. It's wobbling all over. When you get it over where it goes, you can feel it. You can't really see it visually, but you can feel it drop down. So we'll screw this down. And we'll get it pretty tight, but that's a small screw. You don't want to over tighten it. That's probably why they have a small size screwdriver. If you had if I used an Allen wrench and went in there, I could possibly tear it up. So you don't want to over twist it. Now this one should do the same thing. Line up right there. It's in the closed position. Screws going in, I can feel it. All right, got that tight. Now we're going to run these connectors back through this base plate to put it back together. We're just basically reversing the process of taking it apart. This is a very tight fit through here. Just barely wants to go. Now get that down in there, and there's a little pin this lines up on. That's your alignment tool, and you can see the screw holes. You got to have them in the right place, or they wouldn't go in. So let's screw this down. Get that tight. One more here. All right, we got those tight. Now it's time to figure out where those wires go back. Now I notice these new ones do not have the tape on the wiring harness. I am going to go ahead and just install them. First thing I do is look at these pins. And I've put many of these type of connectors together in the past on different various pieces of equipment, electronics equipment, and just different electrical panels and whatnot. And the pins down in each of these individual holes, sometimes they don't get locked in. You push that wire in, and this guy, just like this thing clips, this thing here clips into that connector. There's a clip on each one of these pins that clips into this connector itself. You push the wire in, it's got the pin mounted on the wire, and it clicks in place. And they do each one of those individually. Well, they can be not clicked in place. You want to look at them. And look at your pins down in this hole. There's 6 pins in each one of these connectors. Make sure those pins all look straight and everything looks good. If one happened to get bent or something, this is not going to mesh with that. It's not going to connect. So we turn this bad boy down like this. Push it into place. I guess I can take these. Let's see something. Let's see if these will work on here. I don't know that we'd ever need them, but hopefully we don't have another mishap like this. Looks like you can transfer these over if they're still sticky. All right, turn it where I can see down in there. I'm going to use this tool just to guide it into position. And I can see it down there. There we go. Push it down till it clicks. There it did. I saw the little thing pop out. It will not pull out now. That's one down, and I noticed earlier, just like this, these wires need to push. There's a little curved area right here, like this slot right here, right in here. The wire needs to lay in that slot. Probably so that when you put the base plate on, it doesn't interfere. Honestly, it looks like it's open there. It's probably not an issue, but that's the way it was. That's the way I'm going to do it. Let me grab this other sticker off of this other arm. Put it on here. There we go. I don't know that these were necessary, but they do come in handy when you're pulling, trying to get the thing back out of that hole. So, putting it on there. check the pins. They all look like they're in position. They all look uniform and the same. So either they're all not in there properly or they're all in there properly, more than likely. Odds are they are, but you never know. I've found quite a few times where those connectors just weren't quite right. Okay, I think we got it lined up again. I'm going to get a bigger Allen wrench and push on that thing. The little screwdriver wants to drop down in them pinholes. This ought to grab it better. Let's see if I can push it down. Here we go. Listen for the click. Yeah, I heard it click, but it wasn't very loud. Okay, we're in there. It should be just about ready to fly. Got that back in position. Now we had it like this when we started. This connector goes over here, but we're going to run it over here and plug it in this leg, just like it was when we took it off, or this landing gear. It's very obvious this will only go in one way, so if you look at it, there's one side has a thing that you push in and out, and it's what releases this connector from holding into that connector, and the pins are on the opposite side, and you can see that. You can't miss it. It's very obvious. Pins towards the base, the connector little tab towards you, or you wouldn't be able to get to it, so that makes it obvious. You can probably see the pins right here on one side, and you can't see them on the other. Well, you want the side you can't see to be the side that's out. And get it down in here. Get it lined up just right, and click. All right. So now, remember when we took it apart, the longer legs were to the back, short legs to the front. We want to replace it in a reversing order. Make sure this cable running between here, this is obviously something to let you know that landing gear is down. There's a little switch on both of these. It's got a wire running from this side up to this side, and then that connector feeds it down into here. And I'm assuming that the Karma wants to know that the landing gear is down before it will allow it to start or anything. So if it's not down, it's not going to start. Got that side in. Got that side in. It's clicking right in place. Nothing to it. Easy peasy. Put these screws back in it. Kind of hard to line up with my big fat fingers. And I would check these screws periodically and make sure that they haven't come loose now that you've taken them out. They've got Loctite on them, but they're not turning that hard considering. So I would be inclined to check that every now and then. I got this little piece of foam pad under here because these would be hitting the tabletop otherwise. This allows these arms to float, and when I get the new props, if I had them on there, it would allow them to not be hitting the table. Okay, I got that one tight. That one's tight. Two more. Drop that one in that hole. Drop that one in that hole. Tight. And one more. Okay, all them things are tight. So now, landing gear is working fine. Turn this thing over. I don't think I need my little foamy pad anymore. Now we're going to open these arms up so that we can get to the props easily. And this side is marked with a white dot. This side has black on the end. These two still have their caps on them. But because of that white dot, that's where the white prop goes. And if you look closely at these props, you can probably see on this black one, let me get my hand down here where it'll focus right there. Let me get something to point here. Okay. If you look at this, you can see there's an arrow and it shows it going in that direction. So that's the way you want to spin the blade. And you want to put this on the engine that has no white. This one has white, that's white. This is black. It's got white writing, but it's black. And this is black. So we put it on the black and you turn it in the direction of the spin. If you turn it the wrong way, it's just going to spin around and not hurt anything. But it's not screwing down. If you turn it the proper way, the direction the arrow's pointing, you see it's going down and it catches the motor. And you get this little handy tool right here. And that little Y-shaped thing slides over any one of these parts of this motor. The little things that stick up on it. And then you grab this blade, finger here, and gently snug it up. That blade's going to turn in the proper direction to keep tightening this thing up. So it's not going to blow off if it's not tight enough. You want to snug it, and I think that's about it. I'd go by the manufacturer's specs on that. But to show you better here, this slides right down there. Okay, so white. Put this thing on here. Spin it in the direction of the arrow, which on this one is clockwise. Snug it up. And that's snugged up good. All right, let's spin it around to the other side. This black one right here, or white one right here, is one that was broke in the crash. Have to get it off of here. Screw this down, clockwise direction. Alright, snug it up, finger and thumb on either side of the blade, snug it up. Now let's get this black one off of here. That one's not turning. Oops, I forgot. That was, when you look at this, the arrow is going this way, so that's tightened, and I was trying to turn it off that way because this is a backwards thread. This one's your standard thread that tightens in just like you would normally do clockwise. This one is a reverse thread and it tightens or loosens, I'm sorry, counterclockwise. So yeah, and tightens clockwise. This one tightens counterclockwise and loosens clockwise. The black ones tighten counterclockwise and loosen clockwise. Then I'll get it right yet. All right, so it's ready to go. Well, that's it, guys. Again, this one tightens in this direction. Remember that. The ones with the white, they tighten in a clockwise direction and loosen in a counterclockwise. The black ones tighten in a counterclockwise direction and loosen in a clockwise direction. They are opposites of each other. So just got to keep that in mind when you're taking these apart and putting the new ones on. And I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you can get yours fixed if it is crashed, and I wish you luck in not ever crashing it. And it's heartbreaking when you see $1,000, $1,100 slam into the side of a tree. But it's going to happen. So anyway, thanks for watching and check back soon.